Now, throughout the history of gaming, we've seen a ton of different masks and a ton of different uses. Today I want to take the most popular masks, one from each series we'll say, and rank them on a scale. I'm going to be judging the mask based on look, powers, and overall backstory. And I want to start the list off with a heavy one that I know I gotta talk about first. Majora's Mask. The mask that gave me the inspiration for the video. This one right away strikes you with a lot of beautiful details, very colorful, but still ominous and menacing. And its powers match that as well. The powers of the Majora's Mask are that it can basically attach itself to the user and use its body as a vessel for its havoc. Even outside of battle though, it goes crazy. I mean, just look at it in battle. It doesn't even need to be worn to be amazing. This mask is way too powerful and really has no business being worn by anyone. But it's still an amazing mask, so this one's definitely going at S tier to start it off. Next up, I want to talk about Cubone's mask. Now this mask, it does have a very sad backstory. Whenever this Pokemon is born, if its mother passes away, it will wear its mother's skull and continue its life using that as a constant mask. It'll evolve into Marowak, keeping that same mask with it for the rest of its life, growing into it and really not being able to take it off at all. But this mask is just a skull. Just a skull, not designed, not manufactured, just produced by the mother of a Cubone. And though its design is not fantastic, the backstory is pretty decent. Though sad, I'll give it a C. Now we have Aku Aku. Aku Aku is like a bootleg version of Majora's Mask, honestly. Decently colorful, good looking, good craftsmanship, but he doesn't use his sentience for much else besides helping out Crash Bandicoot at the start and throughout the game. His bright features do make up for that, however, and he does end up becoming a very good looking mask. But other than being a guide, he's not too impressive, so we'll put him in the B tier. Now up next we have Shy Guy. His backstory is kinda weak. Shy Guys do not like showing their faces, so they constantly wear these masks, and if we're gonna judge the mask just based on look alone, then off the bat it's an F tier because it's very low quality, just a simple disc with eyes and a mouth cut out into it. Though it does look cute, the mask quality itself is very abysmal, so on this list it is not going to fare well. On top of the backstory being just not that interesting and sort of pitiful, I think it perfectly applies for the F tier in this video. Up next we have the Puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's. Now this mask is exactly what it's supposed to be. A scary, haunted looking vintage mask that is possessed. The mask alone isn't super busy. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate it on about a 6 to 7. The decay of the mask does add to the atmosphere of it, but at the end of the day, it's not super impressive. The backstory though is very, very depressing. The Puppet being one of the first children that William Afton ended up killing and stuffing into the suits, which means not only is it a haunted suit, but there is a child's remains in the suit as well. And for those reasons, the Puppet is gonna go in the B tier. Now, up next we have Sweet Tooth. His backstory is more cool than it is creepy or interesting, but his character is also designed that way. I mean, with the flaming hair, the converted ice cream truck, I mean, it's all there. He looks like Ghost Rider on steroids, to be honest, and the mask accompanies him perfectly. Now, this mask would be a hard one to produce, honestly, especially if you made it out of something like wood, so it's got to be something like plastic, but the detail's all there. It's super creepy, but also very, very reminiscent of something that Ghost Rider would be seen in. It's a very creepy clown mask, but still has that feeling of dopeness attached to it. For that reason, I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Up next, we got Vega from Street Fighter. Now, Vega is a pretty narcissistic guy himself. I mean, the only reason he wears the mask is because he values his looks just way too much. He can't afford any damage to his face and doesn't want anyone else looking at him. And on top of that, the mask that he wears is not very artistic at all. It reminds me of the Shy Guy mask with very little detail. The only thing that really stands out to me is the almond-shaped instead of the O-shaped eyes that the Shy Guys have, along with the blue slash strike that's right down his eye. But other than that, pretty boring. Not much going on, but not nearly as bad as the Shy Guy mask, so we'll put it in the D tier. Up next, we have the Kona Rick. Now, this mask is super powerful. If I was going to select any mask from Skyrim, it would have to be the Kona Rick. It's a well-crafted, stone-looking mask, so it would be very heavy to wear, almost impossible, but at the end of the day, the detailing is done very well. The powers in this game are intense. It's an end game item, and overall is just a very intense mask in the game. However, there's no differentiation in the color. It's just a solid concrete mask, something you could honestly pour yourself in a mold. Not super detailed. So for that reason, we'll put it in an A tier. Up next, we have Handsome Jack's mask. Now, this mask is kind of crazy because if you look at Handsome Jack without the mask, you'll see why he needs the mask. A devastated face by a laser beam or solar blast or something like that has rotted Jack's face to the core, causing him to use this prosthetic mask to cover up what used to be. It does replace his face with a fresh looking version of it, which is actually pretty beneficial for him, but it's not as much of a mask as it is just a replacement face. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to put him in the C tier, because it's not as reminiscent to a mask as I'd like to see. Not like a Majora's mask or a Konarek mask. It's just his face. I also want to talk about Meta Knight's mask real quick. Now, this mask is pretty dope. The eyes aren't included in the mask. They are truly Meta Knight's eyes, so we have to remove those from the equation when judging the mask. But the craftsmanship is all there. It's a very sharp, clean mask, very shiny. And if it was taken into battle, I'm sure it would probably be the most effective mask today, aside from the Konarek. And that's why I want to put it in the A tier. No color needed, but there is color substitutes in Smash. And overall, a clean cut mask. There is also Yamask from Pokemon, but I did say that I didn't want to do double series, so we'll just put him in a quick B tier. I just wanted to talk about him real quick because I think he's an interesting little Pokemon with an interesting mask. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. Here are the final standings of the tier list. If you guys have any other ideas for tier lists that I should do, then let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.